In this museum-like place, the cultural relics inside are all private collections of Mr. Bai. Our protagonist, Pink Panther, is the cultural relic repairman here. Of course, there is also Mr. Bai's pet Sunset. Pink Panther is also a cat hole. Cats and dogs have always been enemies, so Pink Panther is often played by Sunset. When Pink Panther was scared, a time machine sent a signal. After a while of white light, Mr. Bai, who came back from ancient times, brought a bag of cultural relics back to the base. Sunset saw Mr. Bai coming back. A leap kicked Pink Panther and rushed to Mr. Bai's face. The tail was almost thrown into a spiral. He jumped and welcomed Mr. Bai back. Mr. Bai touched the dog's head with pleasure. Then, he gave the luggage to Pink Panther. In this way, Sunset also relied on Mr. Bai's support to mock Pink Panther. As for these, Mr. Bai didn't see it either. He was focusing on a black cat statue. This statue came back from the pyramid 5,000 years ago. At this time, Pink Panther came to Mr. Bai's back to enjoy it. Pink Panther, stay away from it. Don't touch it. At this time, Sunset didn't know if he saw Pink Panther or the cat statue. He started to brush his teeth. At the moment when Sunset rushed to Pink Panther escaped in time. Sunset knocked down the cultural relic stand. The cat statue flew straight up. Fortunately, Pink Panther was agile and caught the statue in time. Sunset didn't give up. He rushed to the statue again. He kept scratching the statue, but he didn't see the direction he rushed to. He hit the armor. The statue fell to the ground and broke into pieces. Mr. Bai came to see the pieces. He was so angry that he opened his eyes. He looked at Sunset and Pink Panther. He wondered who did this. Sunset was extremely ungrateful. He pointed his finger at Pink Panther. You really can't do anything. Turn to the bottom. Mr. Bai took off his clothes directly and let him clean up. Sunset was very satisfied with his masterpiece. He laughed at Pink Panther as he walked, until he hit the wall. Pink Panther just picked up the broomstick. Suddenly, he saw Mr. Bai's time-traveling handkerchief. He thought he would go back in time and get the black cat statue back. Mr. Bai was very grateful to him. He immediately took up the information bag and put on the watch on the device. He set up the time. He shouted. Sunset entered the time-traveling box. He didn't wait for Sunset to come back. He was thrown out of the time-traveling box. He came to the dinosaur era of Jurassic. Sunset landed. He saw a huge body sleeping. He scared Sunset. His hair stood up. Fortunately, Pink Panther fell asleep. He quietly walked between Pink Panther's toes. He crossed the watch and thought, why can't I turn off the sound? Sunset looked at the time-traveling handkerchief. He looked back. Fortunately, he didn't wake up the dinosaur. When he breathed in, a drop of sweat fell on the watch. The dinosaur was awakened. Sunset immediately started to walk. Don't chase me, big brother. My flesh is smelly. The dinosaur obviously didn't want to let go of his flesh. When Sunset was trying to escape, Pink Panther wiped it happily. Mr. Bai was also in this time-traveling box, and he was performing tricks for the primitive people. Mr. Bai of the Jurassic era. Are you sure you are not Mr. Bai's ancestor? The show ended. The audience was expressionless until he was stepped into the picture by the dinosaur. The primitive people in this episode began to laugh loudly. Sunset didn't have time to care about Mr. Bai's ancestors. He ran to the edge of the cliff. Only then did he remember that he could time travel. After a while of operation, he finally disappeared on the cliff where the king of the Jurassic era fell. Follow me. The next episode will be more exciting.